Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to be here today to introduce you to a process, a practice, an awareness practice called Kylego. Now, Kylego was developed through Kyle Cease, once again, and a friend, I believe Diego, a friend. And some people also call this exercise like I remember when. And they're both similar. And I'm going to demonstrate in just a little while an example of this process, but I wanted to talk about some fundamentals. Now, fundamentally, what this process does is it steps into the process of our brain, or how our brain works with memory, and it helps create a reality of things already happening. So what you do is basically, if you want to say it, you use your imagination or whatever to step forward in time and then look back and see the shifts and changes that you want to have occur. Or you step forward in time and you embrace yourself in a new way and then look backwards. So this is a really fun exercise. And I want to say, for me, the last version of that is the easiest way to do this. Oftentimes our brains can kind of get into work mode and I've got to work this out. I've got to figure this out. And it actually is counteractive to the process itself. Meaning, if you can step into a new version of yourself, which, if you understand consciousness, is already here and available, right? Just like in the future, you may be an accountant. You can actually step into the experiencing of it as an accountant and then look back and see how you went through the process of coming into that new understanding of yourself. Now, some people, this may be tricky, and of course, sometimes it's great to have a partner to help you, or their energy can help prod you to jump into this in a deep way. So if you're having trouble, go ahead and try finding a partner, and you can always contact me to do this exercise with. So basically what you do is you choose a time allotment, and then you say, I remember when, or I remember back when, and list the time that was now and the state that I was in. And then you get to move forward and see the changes and see the shifts. You can do this very specifically. Say, I remember when I did this, 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 and this, and every day things shifted and changed. Or you can give a general idea of what things happened. All right, I'm going to jump in with me and my friend Matt. And if you have not checked out his podcast yet, go ahead and look into Crazy Day. It's a really fun, short podcast that is very uplifting. If you want something in your day, 5-6 minutes, that will just give you a little uplift. But here's me and Matt. And at the end, I'll just come back and close this out.
Wow, amazing. Matt, it is so good to see you after 10 years of this adventure. I remember way back then, that was my start of adventure with Kyle Cease, and it was so cool meeting you. And my gosh, I don't know that I even recognize myself as the same person now. I can look back at her and just love her to death, but love her to death is a funny phrase, but it kind of is the truth. I loved her till her death, and I am really new, and I've had kind of new rebirths and new lives all along this path till I really, my experience of my even form is completely different. My experience of this body is completely different. I experience myself as completely different. I am really in this multidimensional reality. I walk around in confidence, and and I say that because in a wistful way, because it feels so natural to me. This earth feels so natural to me. And then, of course, I feel certain places that aren't quite there, that aren't the place for me. And that's fine. You know, there are certain parts of this earth that are in their transformation in certain places that aren't quite there, and they're just working their thing out. But overall, this world is just absolutely singing and rejoicing, and uh, people are showing up in brand new ways. Socially, how we interact is brand new, and we've learned how to interact in these beautiful ways where, like you talked about earlier, we come and we interact and we go, and we can create this experience of kind of manifestation together. And then instantly, once it's manifest and things work, it can instantly translate and transport into something completely different. And whatever gets to move on and grow and seed something else gets to. And I am just so happy about feeling that completely within my soul and my experience of life. And the things that lowered me down into that dense feeling have just become so smooth and flow like a river. You know, the ideas of all the little details that weighed me down before are just simply smooth. And as I am totally aware and with, honest and honoring what 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 I need in this form to be my full potential, what I get to partake of, what I get to express, just I naturally flow through this experience. And naturally things are set up and manifest and appear in a way where I can arrive and I'm there and things are ready and we all show up together in a specific way. And there's been some growing pains along that route, but I feel it stronger and stronger. And in essence, I almost feel like, gosh, I'm trying to come up with a correlatory, some visual. It is if I removed Tron from the world of Tron. Okay, if I removed those lines and kind of there's this visual of when they were in those vehicles that were moving, like in the light and how things flowed. If I could take off anything hard from that, and I'm just this light of movement, and it's like a chord, a resonancy that's moving through whatever is. 10 years has been amazing, and I have been a part of beautiful creations of books, of visual art, of creation, of singing, of motion, and been able to step into creation in an amazing way. And the people that are surrounding me are just like so on board to share what really this experience of multidimensionality can be. And that's kind of our thing. It's kind of cool. Yeah. Like that's kind of our thing that we do. And yeah, I feel like it's just like a groove. Like I'm in a groovy, I'm walking down the street in a groove, and it's just flowing through. So gosh, I don't even feel a need to get really super specific, because those things, even though they happened and occurred, that isn't really what this is all about, And so, yeah, like how has your 10 years been? Because gosh.
I was thinking in the last 10 years, it's been fun watching you grow in confidence, and not more like confidence just in the way that you hold yourself and the way that you look at the world around you and in your own skills and creativity, yes, but also in your own abilities and the way you look at people and look at the world in a in a knowing way, not in a cocky way, not in an arrogant way, not in an I know you or I know more way, but just in the way that um, a teacher would watch a student, work on a math problem. And they know how the math problem works, and they're just watching. They know what's going on. Or a parent might watch a child figure out how to walk. You know what's going on, not in a I'm better than you way, just in a way of knowing, in a wise way. And that's been fun watching you kind of move into that. I think that started by you gaining confidence in yourself and you realizing your own power, not in a way to exert it over others, but in a way to exert it over yourself, and seeing the truth of that and seeing the effects of that and watching you um, stand a little taller, stand a little straighter, smile a little bigger. And I think that was reflected not only in your face and in your stature, but also maybe in your clothing, in your hair, in your makeup, in your eyes, in your glasses. It was subtly and slowly reflected in your tastes, in the colors you wore, in everything. So that if you were to look at photographs of yourself today versus those of you from 5 or 10 years ago, it wouldn't just be a facial thing, it would be a palette thing that would reflect the change in you. And I think you will. I think if you were to go back and do that, that would be fun. And that's been interesting and fun to watch from an outsider's perspective, just to gradually see the shift. So that's been a lot of fun. For me, it's been, the last 10 years have been, I guess the best way I can describe them would be rebirth was the word that keeps coming to mind, would be rebirth. Yeah, I've done more sharing, more speaking, more, I hesitate to say teaching, but for lack of a better word right now, sure. But really trying to help others find their way, in the sense of they already know it inside, but just helping maybe draw inspiration from the way that Kyle does it. He seems to be a master at helping you realize the truth yourself. And I feel that's the best way that I can describe my own inspiration over the last 10 years, and sharing my own story. But there's been some speaking, there's been some sharing, there's been some content and other things along those lines. But really, it's been more of a rebirth in my own social network, not social media, but the people that I hang out with and the groups that I'm associated with, the crowd that I enjoy hanging out with, that I just find personal satisfaction and gratification. There we go. In being around that.
Yeah.
I don't seek, God, what's the word I'm looking for? Validation from people like I used to, but the people that I enjoy being around are those that maybe once upon a time I would have sought validation from.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that example of Kylego. If you have any questions, if you try this out and you have a certain experience you want to share, please make sure to write it in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, and we can all take this journey together.